Greetings, boils and ghouls. Welcome back to Midnight Movie Massacre. Today we have an absolute fucking turd of a slasher flick for you. I'm not saying that affectionately. This movie blows on almost every level. It's called Doom Asylum. This was written by Rick Marks and directed by Richard Friedman. Stars Michael Rogan, Patty Mullen, and Kirsten Davis, and was released direct to video in March of 1988. Basic gist of this piece of shit is this scuzzy lawyer guy and his mistress are on the road after having, scammed her husband out of a bunch of money in this fraudulent lawsuit. They end up crashing their car. Lady gets fucked up pretty bad and ends up dying on the scene. Scuzzy lawyer guy ends up waking up mid-autopsy after these guys have for some reason started slicing the skin off of his face. He kills the two medical examiners that are giving him the autopsy and then apparently assumes the identity of an evil coroner and sets about building himself up into this urban legend. 10 years later, the daughter of his mistress, who they were going to just chuck into boarding school so they could run off with this money, ends up going with some friends to visit the site of the crash and the scene of her mom's death. And then you know what? Since they're out there, they decide to just party at this abandoned building where scuzzy lawyer guy, now the coroner, with his scarred face and his doctor's jacket, has set up shop and is in the mood to slice and dice some kids. There's what I guess you might call a punk band that's using this abandoned building to practice, and that just adds people for the body count. And the rest of the movie plays out very much how you might expect. He starts picking them off one by one. You get to see the bitch from Sex and the City take a surgical saw to the face. There's a pretty impressive drill kill. All the blood and gore and effects are pretty decent, actually. What makes the movie fucking horribly unbearable is the fact that it is like maximum cringe in the humor department. Every single joke that they attempt in the thing just falls totally flat. They're trying way too hard to be funny and way too hard to be kind of clever, I guess, in taking jabs at the slasher genre, and it all just really ends up coming across as try-hard bullshit. You can tell the people reading the dialogue don't think it's funny either. They know that it sucks and it's not even humorous in sort of a tongue-in-cheek clever kind of way, so their delivery of the shitty dialogue is not done in that so bad it's charming kind of way. It's done in that they know it's bad because they know we're gonna know it's bad, and it's pretty bad. Absolutely lacks the appeal that most other movies like this have. You guys know full well that I enjoy so bad they're good movies all the time. This does not fit into that category. It's just bad. Even the kills are deflated by the fact that they have the killer spouting wannabe fucking Freddy Krueger one-liners the entire time, none of which are funny either. It just kills the whole fucking thing. So believe me when I say everything you need to see in this movie you are seeing right now in this review. If you're a slasher completionist though and you're willing to subject yourself to this horse shit, Arrow has a really nice release of it. Might as well watch your garbage in high definition. Now, I'd never tell you guys not to watch a movie at least once to form your own opinion. You should always check it out for yourself because that type of shit is highly subjective. But I like to think I have a pretty good internal barometer for what's good and actually funny in this kind of horror. I grew up on trauma movies. I love all the shot on video stuff. I mean, it's in my blood, right? This is not that stuff. This is a movie that's trying its hardest to be that stuff and not even really doing it in a genuine way. So it feels very pretentious and obnoxious and cringy. The soundtrack and the audio are purposely obnoxious too. Nothing about it is fun. It's the first movie I've watched in ages that actually had me considering stopping 2/3 of the way through because it was just that fucking terrible. So yeah, definitely check it out yourself at least once if you're still curious after this. If you're a slasher completionist or you just like collecting horror movies, especially Arrow releases, you might as well swoop it up. It's a hard pass for me though. I'm not putting this piece of shit on my shelf.